And number one is a show that encompasses all that we try to do at A Pod About Nothing. And we're surprised that this show is not, the show's got some accolades. Like, people like the show. They really do. But it's not, this show should be put on a pedestal. This show should be recognized that, yo, this is the greatest show on television. And this show is only 2 seasons long, and sometimes it's kind of bizarre, but it's so well written, so intricate, it's so well acted. This is the show that you should be watching right now.
Ready for the show. I've been waiting. What's the show?
That show is called
Try to catch me howling at the moon.
This is the Pod About
Nothing. Welcome to the Pod About Nothing. I'm your co-host, Nic Flair, alongside
the Reggolution.
And we are going to give you a couple tips today on getting through what we like to collectively call quarantine. Now, first of all, we want to give a shout out to everybody who is staying home right now and staying quarantined in their house, who are doing their part to flatten the curve.
Yes, big shout out to everybody on quarantine doing their part, but the biggest shout out goes to our grocery clerks, our first responders. We want to thank you all for doing your part in making sure that we are safe and sound.
Doctors, nurses, police officers, everybody who is out there in the midst of this pandemic, we definitely want to give our most gratitude towards you. And we also want to give a shout out to everybody who is sitting at home. I saw a meme or a quote the other day that said, your grandparents could go to war, at least you can sit on the couch, right? So while you are sitting on the couch, we at Pod About Nothing, we've come up with 3 shows in which we feel that you should be binge watching right now. Now, we haven't just picked the popular shows. We've come up with 3 shows that we feel are underrated and that you can find some solace or you can find some fun in a time that's stressful for us all, and you can find some happiness in these 3 particular shows. All right, Reggolution, lay us with your number 1 pick.
Now, this one is called 90 Day Fiance. And I know you mentioned like it might not be not be popular, but this one is a little bit popular, but kind of like there's still a lot of people that don't watch the show at all.
I definitely do not.
Okay, just like yourself, right? So in the latest 90 Day Fiance, and this is before the 90 days in particular, because there is a difference. Man, they got some cast of characters that I just like I'm just like, wow, like why are you doing this to yourself?
So for the people at home that never watched 90 Day Fiance ever, like myself, what is the premise of this show?
The premise is, well, I'm finding love and I may not be able to find it within my particular like close proximity. So I'm going to branch out and I'm going to go on a variety of different apps, platforms, whatever you may call it, and search for love in different countries.
And, hold on. So people are like, who's kind of like directing them to the people? I mean, I'm not sounding clear right now. I understand that, but you just said that you're not finding love in your circle. You're not finding love in your city. You're not finding love in your community. If you're not doing that, and somebody's directing you to what, different countries?
Different countries. Because soulmates though doesn't mean that it has to be within, again, close proximity. It could be, well, I may have to branch out. I may have to go to a different country, a different state to find my soulmate. And these people are convinced that because of the engagement or the connection that they've established through these various platforms, that they felt that, hey, this could be the one. So for example, they got a guy from the States. His name is Big Ed.
Okay.
Self-proclaimed Big Ed. That's the name that he gave himself.
Might be Small Ed. Special Ed.
Oh, he's special, all right. And he is also small. So in his mind, he feels like he's larger than life. But in order to overcompensate his height, he calls himself Big Ed. And what he's done is he's interacted with a girl from the Philippines.
Okay, so
big shout out to Manila.
So Big Ed's from the United States, and his I guess the object of his affection is from the Philippines. So that's bringing people together. So there's somebody in between that's like, is there a criteria that people need to fill? Is there a disclaimer? Is there like a survey that people need to deal with in order to figure out?
No, the thing is, what the great people at TLC and what they do is that, hey, if you're looking for love in distant countries or whatever the case may be, submit your story, and we would like to feature you within the next 90-day fiance or before the 90 days.
You know what? This is usually not my cup of tea, but I might check it out. Number 2, The Leftovers. This might hit a little bit too close to home. Now,
sounds like the dinner I ate last night.
What did you have last night?
Leftovers.
What did you have last night anyway?
I had shrimp. Mm-hmm. I had something called zoodles.
It's like zucchini made into noodles. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
There's a big preparation for that. I also had.
We need to do a video about it. If you want to see us do zoodles, comments below. Zoodles, please. All right. So The Leftovers. Now, the premise of this story is simple. And it's very relevant to today. So what happens is that 3%. So let me just set the stage real quick. It's by the producers of Lost. You know the show Lost.
I've heard. Yep.
So Lost was a popular show that was on. I think ABC was it about 10 years ago, and Lost dealt with a lot of mythology and like a lot of deep seated things that are going on. But The Leftovers, it's on HBO. And The Leftovers deals with the premise. So it's kind of like mythical, but it's not. It's almost like a mirror to society. And I'll tell you why. The Leftovers is a story of what happens when 3% of the population disappears, and they disappear without warning. They just vanish into
3%.
3% of the world's population vanishes into thin air, right? And it's less about the economic and I guess immediate familial consequences that happen as a result of that. And it's really about how a society moves forward with dealing with mass loss or mass like people leaving the planet at that particular time. And to me, it's almost like a personality sketch of the world as we know it today. And people are not really ready to see that happen. And like, it's the way that people deal with loss in such a mass way is very interesting to do. It's very interesting to deal with. And the writers of The Leftovers really do so in a way that is very realistic. And the actors, there's a guy named Justin Theroux, who's actually a comedic writer, who actually just nails his part. There's a few actors and actresses that just don't know off the top of my head, and I would butcher if I tried to. But just the acting and the plot line and the way that this story is actually told in such a short span, it's like 3 seasons long. It's just remarkable, and it's just so underrated that people don't even know what I'm talking about when I ask, "Hey, did you see The Leftovers?" They're just like, "What show is that?" So if you can find it on your HBO app or whatever means you have on Blu-ray, DVD, whatever the case is, The Leftovers is definitely a must watch. To me, it's in my top 5 shows that I've ever seen. And I'm somebody that likes Breaking Bad, The Wire, all that kind of stuff. This show, The Leftovers, definitely, if you haven't watched it before, it's definitely something you want to pick up and
you know what? I've been looking for another show, Nic Flair, to like watch, and I'm gonna take you up on your recommendation because you know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of the push-up challenges. I'm also tired of these toilet paper challenges as well. Like people are kicking,
too many push-ups.
Like too many push-ups. Stop challenging me to push-ups.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
You know I could do. You know I do CrossFit. You know I could do it. Stop challenging me. I'll do 100 instead of 10. Get at me. Stop it.
Can we leave your name in this? Because the 50, it started at 10. You challenged me to 10. Man. Shout out to my homeboy Johnny Drama. He challenged me to 50. At 50 at one time. Just do 50. And it's just like,
big
man.
Big shout out to Johnny Drama. Don't do that anymore.
You know what I'm saying? 50 at one time.
Watch The Leftovers. You're bored.
Bro, 50. Not 50 cents. 50 push-ups. No. Let's not do that, man. Watch the shows. Let's all get through this together. But We ain't at number one yet. We're not at number one. And number one is a show that encompasses all that we try to do at Apollo About Nothing. And we're surprised that this show is not, the show's got some accolades. Like, people like the show. They really do. But it's not, this show should be put on a pedestal. This show should be recognized that, yo, this is the greatest show on television. And this show is only 2 seasons long, and sometimes it's kind of bizarre, but it's so well written, so intricate, it's so well acted, that this is the show that you should be watching right now.
We're ready for the show. I've been waiting. What's the show?
That show is called Atlanta.
I love Atlanta. Atlanta is based in where?
Atlanta, obviously. Starring Donald Glover. Dang, I can't remember the other two brothers' names. I don't want to butcher this, and I won't. So, I mean, like, I would really like, we should have done our research before this, but yo, these other two dudes in the show, dope dudes, man. Like the dude from Get Out and the other dude from wherever, I don't know.
You'll recognize him.
You'll recognize him.
Husky build, but yeah, he's good.
He's dope.
Sorry for calling him. So he's dark skin,
yeah,
but he's good.
Man. But anyhow, the show in itself, it deals with, I think the writing is the North Star of this show. It's something you can watch again and again.
And this is Danny Glover, a.k.a. Childish Gambino.
Donald Glover. Danny Glover's from Lethal Weapon.
Sorry, you're right. I've had time on my hands. I've been watching a lot of Lethal Weapon as well. Sorry, we didn't mention that. But
it's all good. So, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, not Danny Glover, his great-grandfather, is the star of this show, and he kind of takes a back seat to the whole everything because he's a writer first and foremost. He's not an actor. Like he acts, but he likes to set the scene for everything that goes on. And of course, we're called A Pod About Nothing based on the show Seinfeld, right? Mm-hmm. And if you notice, Seinfeld in itself, Jerry Seinfeld's not really the main character of the show. It's really about Kramer. It's about George. It's about Elaine. And Jerry kind of narrates and kind of just like makes his way through the show, and he just kind of navigates his own personal space. But he's not really the draw. Similarly, in Atlanta, Donald Glover creates this space for all these unique, hilarious characters, whether it's the daughter of his mother, the mother of his daughter, whether it's his cousin, Paperboy. Oh my God. Whether it's
Paperboy,
gotta get that Paperboy, or his other friends. He creates this world that is so immersive that you just can't take your eyes off of. And if you do for a second, you got to rewind the tape because you got to miss some of the intricate details, plot details, and jokes that you might have missed the first time. So that is our number one recommendation. If you have seen Atlanta, watch it again because you missed something, because we missed something the first time. And if you have any other recommendations, please drop them in the comments below. Because we are bored just the same way you are bored, but we are doing our best.
Let us know what we need to watch. I'm bored. I've gone through my Rolodex of shows I need to watch, and I'm tapped out at this point in time. I don't know what else to watch.
Yeah, we just need some recommendations. Like, we are limited in our mental Rolodex as to what we can come up with.
And no more push-ups! I don't want to do any more push-ups.
We're doing our part for social distancing, but no more push-ups. No more selfie challenges. We don't want to do that stuff. We just want to watch some good TV. Please recommend your best shows to us. That's all we want.
And one thing, I have one question for our viewers. Can you spare a square? If Nic Flair and the Reggolution needed a square, would you be able to spare it to us?
Comments below. Please say so. We are a pot about nothing.
Be a pot of something.